Hey guys, Chris Linton here from TribeFit, and today I want to take you through the technique, the tip, the secret to doubling and tripling your conversions without any effort. When I talk about this, people think, God, what's his secret? How can I do it? Testimonials. Testimonials are worth their weight in gold. There is nothing better, there is nothing more convincing to a prospect, to a client, than third-party testimonials of people you've had great results with and you've gotten reviews from. I always say to people, you can shout till you're blue in the face about how awesome you are, but it will never be as powerful as if someone else, a third party, is talking about how awesome you are. Everyone can talk themselves up, but unfortunately there's a very few people who can have a truckload of an army of people talking themselves up and really talking about the results. In a prospect's mind, and think about it for yourself if you've probably bought something in the last week or so, in a prospect's mind, at the end of the day, they might think you're a fit. They have a problem, they're looking for a solution, they think you solve it, but they need to have that next level of confidence. They need to have that next level of proof before they hand over their hard-earned cash for your services. And testimonials are always worth their weight in gold. There's 3 different formats of testimonials I generally like to talk about. There's video testimonials, there's photo before and after testimonials, and there's written referral or a customer reference testimonials talking about, they're trustworthy, they're great, I've trained with them, they know their knowledge, etc., etc. And probably the most powerful of the 3, or the 2 most powerful of the 3, are before and after pictures and video testimonials. Video testimonials are very powerful because the person can get across a tone, an emotion, and tell a story. Whereas before and after pictures are very easy to consume, very fast to consume for someone skimming through, being able to easily and visually see the difference between the 2. But I generally like video testimonials and feel that they're probably the most powerful because people have a little bit more trust in them. They're harder to fake. They're harder to get an actor or steal video testimonials. Some people still have a little bit of hesitation around before and after photos, not specifically knowing if they're yours or whatever it might be. Video testimonials, if they're from your client saying, hey, I've worked with Chris, he's absolutely fantastic. I couldn't recommend him highly enough. I was in this situation, I got to that situation, and they're probably the most powerful and the most credible because you cannot fake them. They're real and they are how they are. In essence, what your prospect is looking to do, they're looking to find someone that you've worked with before that they can resonate with, that they can see themselves where they are today and see a testimonial of a person of where they want to be. If you have a fistful of testimonials, your goal should be to have pretty much a Rolodex of testimonials on your website, truckloads of video testimonials from people from all different walks of life within your niche, within your avatar. As a result, if you have a prospect and they need that next level of proof or confidence, they can check out those videos, those photos, those customer references or whatever it is, and there will generally be one person with, if you say you have 5, 10, 20, 50 testimonials, the more the better always. But if they can find someone that they can resonate and they can see has a similar background, a similar story as themselves, and they can see the results they've got, then you're always going to be the personal trainer that's gonna get that client rather than the flip side of a personal trainer who has nothing. And what I always like to say, and it's such an obvious and easy format, is when someone's looking for a solution to a problem, for a service, for a product, or whatever it might be. If you have, say for example, one personal trainer on one hand who has a fistful of testimonials, videos, proof, etc., and then you have another personal trainer on the other hand who is just as good, has just as much expertise, and is just as awesome as the other personal trainer, but they have no testimonials. Which one do you think your prospect is actually going to pick? Which one do you think your prospect is actually going to buy from? And which one of the 2 do you think is going to be more successful? It is obvious, it is always going to be the one that has the testimonial formats. Testimonials are worth their weight in gold, and a lot of people, I speak to a lot of personal trainers, and they always keep their testimonials as an afterthought. I speak to people that have been training for 5, 6 years and have gotten great results with people all the way along. But when I ask how many testimonials do they have, they go, I probably could get some. I never really thought that much about that, and I never put that much time into it. You need to put time, you need to put effort, and you need to have the foresight to know that testimonials are worth their weight in gold. You need to be working towards that. Whenever you work with a client, you get a great result. top of mind for you should always be, how am I going to get a testimonial from this person? How can I make it win-win so I can get a great testimonial from this person at the point where they're most excited, at the point where they've just hit their goal or whatever it might be, and their energy can come across in that testimonial as good as possible. You need to be thinking about that. You need to be collating testimonials and not thinking as an afterthought, because it's very hard to go back to someone that you maybe trained 2-3 years ago and say, hey, is it all right if I get a testimonial from you now? When I speak to personal trainers as well, some say, oh, my clients don't like to take photos or do videos or write references or whatever it might be. That is not true. It is because you're positioning it in the wrong way. You need to make it win-win. You need to make it a priority for your client. If you only ask for value, so for example, you've got a client you've trained for a while, they've got a great result. If they love you, there will always be people saying, I'd love to do a testimonial, that's fantastic, but it will always be low on their priority list because they're only giving you value. Ideally, you should make it a win-win. As soon as you give them, if they give you value, you should give them value back. It might be a free session, it might be a small discount, it might be whatever it might be. At the end of the day, whatever you give away to incentivize and make it a win-win situation, it'll make it a high priority for your client. You'll get the testimonial rather than waiting weeks and continually following it up. You'll get it the next day. But at the same time, whatever you give away to get that testimonial, that testimonial will make you back 5, 10, 50-fold income-wise. So don't have a scarcity mentality and think, I'm not going to give away a free session to this person because I'm going to lose $50 or whatever it might be. That testimonial, like I said, is going to be worth its weight in gold. Think about 1, 2, 10 years ahead, how many clients you're going to close as a result of that testimonial, how much money you're going to make as a result of that testimonial. And then you start to think, okay, the $50 that I might give up today for a free session or whatever it might be, or a free week, in comparison to the 10, 20, 50 clients I might close as a result of that testimonial is, the cost versus the upside or the income is an obvious question and an obvious thing you do straight away. So what you need to do is stop trying to make it a one-sided situation where you're just trying to extract value and get testimonials from your clients. Make it win-win, give them value back. Whenever someone gives value, they should always get value. That'll make it a high priority. You'll get great testimonials and people will stop saying, oh, I'm a bit conscious or I'm not comfortable in front of the camera or photos or whatever it might be. It's the way you're pitching it, it's the way you're structuring it, and if you make it win-win, it'll be a top priority for them and you'll get them straight away and you'll get phenomenal testimonials. So once again, if you are a personal trainer, whether you're an online trainer, whether you're a face-to-face trainer, and you do have very limited testimonials, you don't have many of them, you don't have any of them, then you need to focus. That needs to be top of mind for you. You need to always be thinking about building your business at each stage. Help your clients, get them great results, but keep it top of mind, long-term, thinking long-term about growth of your business and getting a truckload, a wall of success stories, a wall of testimonials. That is the key to any business, and it will help you double, triple, quadruple your conversions, your sales conversions. Stop talking about how awesome you are and get other people to talk about how awesome you are. And as a result, you don't need to do hard sales. You don't need to convince people yourself because you've got an army of people convincing them for you. So hopefully that makes sense. If you haven't got testimonials, focus on getting them ASAP and keep that top of mind for every client you're training moving forward.